Hey there, everybody. Thank you for coming back to us again. And for this time around, we are going to continue our little literary lessons in discussing terminology that we hear so much of happening these days. And today's word is Nazi. Obviously derives from the well-known Nazi Party, or otherwise known as the Nationalsozialistische Deutsches Arbeiterpartei, or the National Socialist German Workers' Party. So, everybody out there that wants to refer to us conservatives as Nazis, you could not be further from the truth. For the most part, we are not even German. Some of us might have a German heritage, but hell, we are Americans. But also, let's go ahead. Let's break this term down and see how it all works out. First of all, first part of it, the National Socialists. So there's a lot of people on the left that are trying to put a moniker on us conservatives of being nationalists. Well, if you think about it, one thing that we, for the most part, agree upon is we do believe in putting America first. We do believe in American exceptionalism. And this is without any regard to a person's heritage, their skin color, or their religion. I strongly believe in the US of A as the greatest nation on the face of this earth. Does this mean every other nation is a piece of shit? No. I've been to other countries. I've met some amazing people. I love learning about these cultures. Everywhere you go, you're going to find something to love and something that, yes, they actually do some things better than we can do. Some things. Speaking about Germany, they know how to brew. They know how to brew a really good drink. Trust me. I mean, I'm not trying to knock our American-made beer line, but my favorite does come from Germany. But there is one other thing with all these other countries. They are not my home. They are not America. And that is the one thing that just stays seared upon our hearts, is the fact that we are truly the greatest nation on the face of this planet. Socialists. Now tell me something. Which side and which party is trying to socialize everything? Hell, the Democrats even have a candidate for the mayor of New York City who is just openly socialist. It doesn't matter. You can put the word democratic in front of it. Guess what? It's still just communism. Government operating businesses. It's just taking us to communism. And then being the Workers' Party, which party is out there trying to claim that they are actually for the workers? But then think about it. Are they really for the workers? You can hear Democrats, especially the progressives, constantly going off about the wealthy. You always hear them talk about the billionaires. And you know what? They have no problem going to these big old campaign dinners, charging extortion rates per plate to raise campaign funds. You see these political figures, elected officials, going to these exclusive events. Tell me, anybody that might be anywhere in the vicinity of New York City, how many of you who are like me, how many of you have ever been to the Met Gala at the Metropolitan Museum? But you see certain political figures that are there every year. mostly Democrats, and you'll even see them try to put on and incorporate into their wardrobe their protests against the wealthy, even though they're standing there hobnobbing with all of them. You're all against the wealthy until it's time to get some money from them. And we're not even talking taxes, we're just talking about campaign contributions. But no, y'all want to go off about people getting rich on their own labor when all you're really concerned about is lining your own freaking pockets. And you're supposed to be working for the people, for the workers that you claim to support. These workers that a lot of times they find themselves members of these labor unions. They find themselves members of labor unions because they want to be members? Not necessarily. Sometimes they find that they want a job. So they find a company and they find that company has an opening in their field or something that they're trained to do or something that they want to do. And they get hired to find out that that company does have a union in its shop. And with a few exceptions, they are forced to join that union. Or even if they don't join the union, they still have to pay the freaking dues. I still don't freaking understand how is it if these unions are such a great organization, why are they afraid of right to work laws? If they're such a great organization, people will want to join without being forced. But that's another story. But these unions, they gather up these dues and that they're allegedly helping out to do things for these workers. And what happens with a whole lot of that money? It gets contributed to political organizations, political candidates, to support campaigns. And they don't give a rat's ass what their members want or how they believe as far as politics goes. The unions will determine where their money goes. That is the only sort of support for the workers that the Democrats are actually interested in. But with all this taken into consideration, you want to label conservatives as the Nazis. Back in the 30s, when the Germans elected the Nazi Party into power in Berlin, the government became a fascist government. My last episode, I explained to you all what it means to be fascist. Y'all try to pin that moniker to those of us on the right, and you are far, far off. You have groups out there calling themselves anti-fascist, and it's geared and aimed right at us as conservatives, and you are completely off base. Being a conservative does not make a person a fascist, does not make us Nazis. We have too much belief in the Constitution, in freedom, in personal responsibilities. But this is a lot easier to just call names and push out a narrative, even if it is a lie, than it is to try to defend your own position that has no grounds and reason. Because it's so much easier to call names to people you don't agree with, because it also is going to rile up emotions within people. And that's what the Democrats rely upon. They rely upon their base that has no desire to do the research for themselves, to find out the truth for themselves, or to get the whole freaking story. These are people who are lazy, who are going to just listen to what somebody will tell them, especially if that person happens to be really, really famous and they really, really like that person. That's why you have these nonsensical acceptance speeches at these award shows in Hollywood for the various things. People want to show support when they don't even know the whole story. But because, hey, I like that actress. She said something. Ooh, that's what I'm going to believe. These sound bites are for those voters that do not want to think for themselves. And the Democrats just take advantage of the knowledge that those voters exist. You're just going to take the word of whoever you want to fawn all over. You don't want to take the time to inform yourself. And you're the ones that say, we're not informing ourselves. Here you are, the Democrats and those far left lunatics are calling us the fascists and the Nazis and the racists and the misogynists. What do you think is going to happen within the broken minds of some people out there if you keep spewing this type of nonsense? You really want an answer to that question? Take a look at what happened in Utah. That is your answer. Hey there, everybody. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please, if you are enjoying the content I'm providing, if you are finding this information useful, go ahead, hit the like, hit the follow. Please hit me up in the comments. Let me know that I'm speaking some truth. Hey, let me know if you have a disagreement. I just want a dialogue here. So whatever you do, just let me know you're listening. And I thank you all for your time.